trouble with primitives in any art form, painting, poetry, or music, is that they come a dime a dozen. You can trip over them in the streets. Anyone can present himself as a primitive when they might be quite simply untalented, or just lazy, or money-minded, or all three at once.
All three at once sounds nice. Boom. Welcome to Tavern Talk. We are a full spoiler live talk show based on the epic fantasy series The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. My name is Ryan, and joining me as always is the Tavern Talk crew. To my immediate left is my brother Dan. Below him is Jansen the Gleeman, and to Jansen's right is Josh, aka Orlox, aka Beanie Josh. Welcome.
AKA Sussy.
Sussy Josh.
Yeah. Humans on all the spectrum, welcome. We are continuing our Read React series, going through the Wheel of Time and Philosophy Compendium, edited by Jacob M. Held, whom we've had on the show. Today we are covering chapter 12, and this is called Kantian Commentary on the Three Oats. It just may not be the truth you think you'll hear. And I had a good time reading this. I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts. But before that, how are we all doing? Happy Valentine's Day. Happy birthday. Happy bar mitzvah.
Hi, Brandon. Hi, Debbie, babes. Let's see. Who else we got? Breaker. Yay.
It's hanging like hey Dan, it's hanging like Sir Arlen. Hanging like Sir Arlen.
Let's do it, baby. You guys
If
know
you
me,
know, you
It's
know.
good seeing you all, man. Yeah. Jansen, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great. Plugging along. Working on a couple of different projects right now. It's been fun.
Nice. All top secret, I assume.
A little bit top secret, but I can say a little bit. I'm working on something where I am playing a baseball playing monk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Baseball
Hell
playing.
yeah.
A lot of fun, a lot of good actors, and but a lot of cold weather when you're in a loincloth is not a great thing to do. But anything for the craft, anything for the craft.
You're whipping in some split finger mantras and wow.
The wrong imposter.
Curveballs of life.
Jansen, are you like a Shaolin monk? Do you do like crazy acrobatic stuff?
I do not do any of the acrobatic stuff, but we are trying to find enlightenment and get rid of our anger issues. Yeah, that's pretty much a whole premise of the show is getting rid of your anger.
Nice.
Awesome.
Welcome. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Let's see, an Uber Spearmint, you're here too? Oh, gosh, it feels like you guys all get nachos and stuff. I think it's in the back. There's a cooler somewhere. Help yourselves. Josh, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Been super busy lately, designing a tiny home to go in my backyard and all sorts of moving pieces. Yeah,
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, how tiny?
32 by 10, so not super tiny. It's more like a tiny home mansion.
It's a bougie tiny home.
Yeah, totally bougie.
Yes.
Wow.
Like, could I stand up straight in this tiny home?
You're 6'7"?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have some clearance. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Not in the lofts, but definitely on the ground floor.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you need permits for all this?
Not well, if you want to get an RV pad and have like a separate power drop and water drop, then yes. But it's just like an RV if it's on wheels. And so you can basically put it anywhere.
Oh.
Interesting.
So it's been an interesting project.
So you just can't have permanent hookups.
Can't have permanent hookups unless you go through the permitting process. But that's like 20 grand,
Oh, wow.
So,
Damn, I want to see
Josh,
pictures.
where do you live? Where do you live, Josh?
Gainesville, Florida.
In Florida. Oh, okay.
Are you going to call it the Gator Shed?
No, it's got no gator comments about it. That's for sure.
Okay. Just asking.
You live close to gators?
Oh, yes, very, very.
Yeah, I've seen them down there. They are close.
Like
If
just
you
over
live
my
in
back.
Florida, you live close to gators.
Exactly, they're everywhere.
Like, do you got to worry about letting animals out of your house because of gators, or?
No, because I have a fence, but they're definitely back there in the watershed, like moving around.
So that's the thing. They primarily 99.9% of the time they attack from the water onto land or in the water itself.
That's right. Yeah.
So if you see a alligator just walking across the street, it's not going to trying
really
to
has-
be like tasty meal because that's not its hunting technique. Its hunting technique is to just to sprint. You're done. Roll.
Jesus.
All right, Josh, have you had to like punch a gator?
I've
Yeah,
never
have you
had
punched?
now.
Oh, that was a good question.
I've had them brush my
It is.
paddleboard, but I've never had to like mess with one.
Like if one was coming at you, you would fucking punch it though, right?
I mean, you try to get away.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
not like
I
a
mean,
shark. You're thinking of sharks, I think.
You punch
No,
sharks, but I
no.
think you punch.
no. I think I would just punch any animal coming at
Just
me.
be punching
That's like-
anything, just bam.
Oh yeah, just fucking.
Ryan's a known
Of
animal
what?
puncher. Actually, we had to stop him when he was a kid. We're like, "Can you stop punching puppies?" He's all, punch,
What are you talking about?
punch. We're like, Ryan, don't punch the kitties. I'll punch.
I don't know. Mother Nature, man.
I was just kidding, Ryan.
He's
I
all-
don't know. Mother Nature, man. I don't know about punching anything. You're supposed to punch sharks in the nose, but like something like a polar bear's coming at you. Think about this. Some of those things can stand at 14 feet.
Mhm.
That's 2 Ryans.
Yeah.
That is not something you want to punch.
Right.
Uh,
And they do not know anything to hurt or predate them.
No,
so
they are at the top of the food chain.
yeah, they see it. They're like,
Yeah, no
It cracks
way.
its neck like a bully.
No way.
Come back, Ryan. Come back.
Come back.
Punch puppies. It's okay.
Here it's
I
okay.
just use that as a comedic way to go grab a beer.
All right.
It's all good.
So this article that we are going to get into is written by the same guy who wrote last week's.
Right.
Dean Kowalski, professor of philosophy in University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. And he specializes in Eastern. And but here we got some Kant. You can't.
You can't do it.
You can't.
I can't quite hear you.
Take my hand. I can't. Is
All right,
it
I mean,
morally
so-
right?
And let's just put it out there first. He does reference the show quite a bit, although I do think he did read the series. He quotes the book,
Mm-hmm.
but like I guess for emphasis, he brings up the series a lot, and that's always kind of like, but getting into it, he go on.
Oh, I would say that the basis of what he is talking about is the morality of choice and whether certain things that you do has a true moral value or not.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
He talks about a lot about the universal law, and it's essentially, would the action you do, would you prescribe that as a universal law to everyone in this situation?
Right.
I think the phrase is universal imperative. Right.
It was categorical
Categorical imperative, Ryan.
universal law.
Which is to
Okay.
act as though every action you would do could be made into a universal law.
Mm-hmm.
Universalized for humanity, with no exceptions, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yes. But then it gets into certain challenges that the Aes Sedai and Rand himself face. The one it's laid out most dramatically is the White Cloaks and Child Valda, Childborn, Bonehold, and how they both have as an edict to capture, torture, and kill all the witches.
The witches.
Which I guess he didn't really get into whether I would assume that the White Cloaks would prescribe that as a universal law. There should be an extermination, a complete genocide of anyone who can channel, because they believe it is only from an evil source.
Well, that was also something with the White Cloaks that was formed over the course of centuries. Like they developed that view and then actually started to lose it at the end because of who was leading them. Like
Yeah.
so it was like, even what did Galad say? He said that it wasn't. He didn't say that it was evil to use the one power, Lothair Mantelor. He didn't say that. He said that it could corrupt, and basically saying with great power can come corruption.
Mm-hmm.
So them developing that, forming into their, dare I say, Christian right look of like Aes Sedai, turned into them being somebody that they would want to kill. Because as soon as Child Bornhald saw Moraine in Baerlon, the first thing he said was, Aes Sedai, die. He tried to kill her, so, and that was the first interaction we saw, I think, with White Cloaks.
Yeah.
And
Did he say,
Yeah.
hey, Aes Sedai?
Aes Sedai. Josh, I'm so glad you are here on this show specifically because you mentioned before that you have studied Kant a bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what would Kant feel about Child Bonehold?
I mean, he would see it as morally reprehensible. Yeah.
Morally reprehensible.
His actions? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, a universal
then-
law doesn't just mean in this context, like, doesn't mean kill Aes Sedai because they can channel. It means like don't ever kill.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if
So
you
yeah,
kill
then, yeah.
the universal law would be you can kill anyone, and obviously that's morally reprehensible, right?
Yeah, so
there isn't conditions to the universal law. There's no like.
So the whole idea is that there are no
categorical
exceptions.
imperative.
That's what a universal law means. It's universal, always true, every
Yeah.
situation.
But
Yeah. So you're saying, yeah, like it's not, yeah, I like how you put it, because Dan, it's not like, yeah, like everyone who's righteous in their own beliefs is not morally correct. So yeah, like for them to be killing,
according to who?
Kant, according to Kant.
according to Kant, like everyone, like it's not just that you like believe it, it's like, and that you could universalize it. You're saying, yeah, like they want everyone to kill.
they want
Aes Sedai.
everyone to kill Aes Sedai. They
Yeah.
see him as dangerous weapons of the Dark One.
Right.
But when you
they're similar to Trollocs. We would say that
But
we
you-
could kill Trollocs on site.
but
you got to universalize it in a different way, like.
right.
Well,
Right,
no,
it's
let's
not. It's
stick
not a
with-
one-to-one. It's like when you universalize, it's not just every Aes Sedai. It's like maybe just the fact that any group can decide who the enemy is and kill them wantonly. That would be the thing you have to say. Okay, would I agree that everyone from here on out, as a group, can choose who is the enemy and just kill them? That would be the universal, like, imperative. You say it's imperative that everyone has this right to do this. It's not, so once you get away from just Aes Sedai, when you extrapolate it to everything, then you would say no, not everyone should be able to do that.
So saying only kill Aes Sedai is itself an exception, right? So can I quote the thing here?
Please.
Yeah.
Kant's fundamental action guiding ethical principle is known as the categorical imperative. It represents the benchmark for all morally significant behavior and applies equally to all moral agents everywhere. In Kant's initial phrasing, known as the universal law formulation, it reads, act only on that maximum principle for which you can at the same time will, meaning intend or accept, that it should become a universal law. So let me read that again. Act only on that principle through which you can at the same time accept that it should become a universal law.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He would agree that for a white cloak, because of their beliefs, that is within their system of moral understanding. But you couldn't make that from a universal perspective apply to all humans, right?
So that's the acting according to duty rather than from the duty.
Right.
No, I think that's different.
How,
I don't know if like, well, to be honest, like I think it's different because the white cloaks are like bound by like religious fervor. Like it's not necessarily just duty. They choose to go there because they like hate like witches, right? So I mean, I guess in the pecking order of a soldier, you have duty, but I'm thinking as a whole, like MO of the White Cloaks. I think that's just kind of a different, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm like barking up a tree, but I think it's not necessarily duty. It feels like something else is driving them. Like, and it might go towards the whole like idea that if you do good deeds because you want to believe yourself to be a good person, or you want to, it makes you feel good. If you don't do it, that's an impure reason to be moral, and so you're not getting like moral like green check marks, right? Like after you know what I mean? So like maybe that's more like what the White Cloaks are doing. It they do it because they're reifying their worldview through their
Well, you know, the
actions.
White Cloaks are also I don't know if they're the greatest example because, you know, at their core, they're a military group answerable only to itself. You know, what is the purpose of them to even be there in the first place? They were like, and I know, you know, if you know the White Cloaks history, how they were formed, originally they weren't a military group. You know, they became one because they were getting beaten on so much over the years that they decided to start defending themselves and work as a military unit. But, you know, the very fact that that's what they are, they don't answer to anyone other than the White Cloaks or the Dome of Truth. They're just a group, you know, they don't have any you know, affiliations with any nationalities or anything. In fact, they've taken over one group they've taken over Amador because their king, the king of Amador, is just a puppet. You know, and I guess now they haven't because now the Sean Chen took them out and everything like that.
Well, wasn't Pat and Fane a part of that too? And they're like,
he was part of
Ordees.
He was part of more degradation of them, but like the Sean Chen was what was the straw that broke the camel's back for them.
Right.
Let me get back, if I can, to the question about like killing Trollocs. I mean, Kant because we have the example of the traveling people. Would Kant say that there is nothing morally right in killing a Trolloc or a Fade, or that there is no like moral justice or I can't think of the term, but you should feel morally proud of the fact that you killed.
Yeah. What does he say about self-preservation?
Well, so unfortunately, in the book that the categorical imperative is initially presented in, there's no talk of war. There's no talk of self-defense. This is a very like highfalutin, you know, intellectual apparatus that's designed as a thought experiment, basically, into understanding morality and universalism. So he doesn't really give us a lot to go on in the original text about like, oh, what if someone's attacking you? Is it okay to kill them? Or use self-defense is obviously allowed because that's something you can universalize. But killing someone who's attacking you, going to war in general means like putting other people's needs below your own, right? That's the implication, anyways. Part of the idea of the categorical imperative is that all people are treated equally.
But self-defense in this world isn't universal if we have the traveling people,
right?
And so, are they?
They would be laudable morally, for sure.
Well, I guess, are they perverting the universal law that has been established that you are allowed to defend yourself? Is that like a perversion of this law then?
Well, wait. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's a law. Like,
well, I mean that's what Justin has established in the last one, that obviously we can defend ourselves because we all agree on that. But with the traveling folk that disagree, what is the law then?
So
is it the tiny minority that goes to the extreme, or is it
I
what everyone normally does?
Multiple behaviors can be morally lauded, right? Like you can have multiple moral truths that are different from one another in the same situation. Universal doesn't mean it's the only one. It means that you could recommend it to everyone at all times in all places.
Yeah.
So the White Cloaks could recommend killing Sedai at all times in all places based on their firmly held belief that they're evil.
Well,
Just like we could kill Trollocs or something.
I don't know that killing Trollocs would fall within that. Are they people? Are they animals?
Yeah,
Or
they're more
construct.
animal than people.
They're constructs.
Yeah. They're inventions. Yeah, they're not.
They're
people.
corrupted, which we
Sedai are
could say Black
people.
Usher. We kill Dark Friends. We kill.
Kant would have nothing to do with magic, just to be clear. So it's kind of funny that he's
Yeah.
applying into the world where there's magic involved and like
Fair enough.
edge cases that are far outside the realm of his own experience of the world.
See, we have the example of Galad, right? And
Mhm.
Galad, we had heard, always does what's right. He always does what's right. And what does he do? He becomes a white cloak.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Galad does what's right according to him.
Exactly. Not
Yes,
universal.
and that's not universal. Yeah.
You know, like there were plenty of times he was proven wrong. Starting with Matt, where Matt humiliated him, and then all the way down to his own mother when she told him not to. So
Yeah.
Do you have to be correct in order for your actions to be moral?
No, it's about your intentions. It's not about he's very specific about you. It's like your intentions are the basis. Like mistakes are different than intention. When you brought up Galad, it goes exactly. That's the perfect example, probably, of like duty and morality. Right? Is it like do you do it out of how does he put it exactly? There's a phrasing he uses where he talks about duty. Does duty you do it out of duty or for duty? That's not exactly it.
No, it wasn't. It was according to duty or from duty. And
There
you're
you
trying
go.
to do things from duty, not according to duty.
Yeah. And I believe Galad is all according to duty. And that's his failing.
What do you guys think about that?
About being right and moral.
About Galad specifically, is Galad ever performing his things?
I mean, I
from
think
duty?
the very act that he becomes a white cloak because he believes they're propaganda shows that his morality is in question from Kant's perspective.
Okay.
That's how I would interpret it. I mean, I could be totally off base, but
see, I wish I could read the entire book
it's a fucking tough read, I'll tell you that.
No, I'm talking about Lothar Mantelor's book, The Way.
Oh.
The original, only because it's like I'm not necessarily sure that the book itself was immoral. I just think that the people who followed it corrupted it a lot like certain religions do today.
Right, that's true.
Because Galad started questioning the followers' interpretation of the book.
Right.
A few times. He did that with his own brother in front of Min when Min was pretending to be Elmendretta in the tower. And that was in Shadow Rising. But yeah, he started questioning the book himself. He got the book from Valda, who signed it for him, and hoping that you find the way, I believe, is what he wrote to him. And he said that, and he started questioning everything about the Aes Sedai's views, about, the way that the White Cloaks look at it. And, he became a pillar for the White Cloaks themselves.
Right.
The way that his mind and the way that he showed himself, the way that he presented himself, they even mentioned that more than once. He impressed them. And he showed them this is exactly what Lothar Mantelor wanted us to be. Not people that were feared by different rulers and everyone, people who they wanted to see, people that they needed. He wanted to be that type of person. So I'm not sure his morality. Yeah. See, that's why I'm not sure of universal morality.
It's certainly something that is rather hard to implement in a way that is consistent.
Because, well, I also believe you can have bad intentions and good things can happen from that. Now, if morality is only what someone else is giving you, then I don't know if that matters. You know?
That's interesting.
Right.
Well, okay.
Can
Oh, please. Yeah.
Can I read this paragraph about duty here?
Yeah.
For Kant, if you act in a way that duty requires, for example, telling the truth rather than lying for personal gain, but do so because it makes someone happy, including your mother, then you act according to duty, but not from duty. If personal circumstances constitute your sole motivation for telling the truth, then removing them results in you not doing the right thing. What's more, if the consequence of your telling the truth were disadvantageous to you, presumably you would then be inclined to lie. Both eventualities lead Kant to hold that acting from duty, doing the right thing because it's right, is required for being generally morally praiseworthy for the choices we make. So the intention and choosing to do it because it's the right thing to do are the fundamental bottom line, right?
Him and Machiavelli would have an interesting conversation.
Totally. There are some deaf thinkers I could point you to who read both of them, and
that's got to be crazy.
Wow. All right,
it's real quick. So it's not the ends justifying the means or the means justifying the ends. It's the ends being judged by the means, which is what Kant is saying we all should be doing. Like, and I think what Kant's doing, and Josh brought up, is a thought experiment. Like, we should be like having this framework in our decision making. Like, okay, like I want to steal this candy bar, and I feel like I'm justified for XYZ, and this is kind of what the human mind does. We rationalize our shit. Like, we don't check ourselves as much as we should. So he's saying, yeah, like, well, you should think about, like, well, what if everyone just steals candy bars? And like, is that okay? And what would the world be like if that were the case? And then you make your decision. I find that fascinating. I've been trying to personally kind of like do like what I call radical honesty, I am like more a Sedai. Like, when I leave the house, like when I'm in my professional life and stuff, it's all a Sedai shit. Like, I won't lie. I just won't answer questions I can't be honest about. And if I need to skirt around it like a politician, I will. But I am working tooth and nail to like never fucking lie again.
Ryan, I know every Friday you tell that one coworker, "Have a nice weekend." And you don't mean it.
You don't mean it. I'm gonna grab a drink. I'll be right back.
You know that coworker.
No, but this is the truth. Like, and if I do have to lie, like, it's not like I've never lied, but it's like when I do, it's like, I gotta get out of something, whatever. But that's far and few between. Like, lying, it kind of like has this kind of snowball effect, and my life's been so much easier if I've never had to like remember falsehoods. I have a hard enough time to fucking remembering my own truth. Let alone
so
shit.
Kant would say that you shouldn't feel on any moral high horse about being honest, because you just admitted that you got enough shit on your plate and it's hard to keep it together. So your life is actually better and easier by not lying. There is no moral gain then. You're not doing it.
No. Just
you're
because
doing it for yourself instead of for right.
No. If I identify like posthumously benefits of the decision, which has been hard, like if I say, oh, in the end I find this benefit, that doesn't mean that's why I did it. I did it because I want the entire world to do it. Imagine. You know what I mean? Like, I want everyone. Like that's my hope, is just like I want to be like the person that I want everyone else to be, and I'm gonna like try and be like above any situation, so that I will just constantly have to like be honest and feel good about it. So like Kant would say, like I don't know how Kant feels about finding benefit in like a path of truth. Like if you follow a path
Well,
of
I
truth
think
and all of a
I
sudden
do. I think he's trying to be an example for others.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Other than like preaching about it, I think he's trying to show, like the Browns, like the Brown Aes Sedai, I think he's doing it for the next generation. So they can pass it on.
Yeah.
Let me circle back what we had talked about as far as like actions and judging actions, right? Kant, it seems that everything we have with Kant that we're reading about here is about actions and whether they're morally praiseworthy or not, more or less.
Well,
I mean,
we got to keep in mind that for Kant specifically and Hegel, morality is derivative from reason. So reason sits above morality, and therefore all behaviors that are morally commendable have to be rational in scope, right? And that is why it feels so weird to us, like as Americans, because that's just not the way that like postmodern American ethical systems work.
Can you give me an example of that so that I can understand better? Like a counterfactual, what's a behavior that's not rational but we consider moral that they would not consider moral? Like, what do you?
Well, just the idea that there can be multiple truths, and that like because you believe something, you therefore are acting within your ethical system when you act in a certain way, right? And things like law try to codify that.
Yeah, but that's so close to rationalizing. Like I thought this was the opposite. That's why I'm getting confused. Like it's like if you can like if you do with ration, that almost feels like you can be like rationalizing chancing.
Well, no, rationalizing is different than reasoning.
Yeah, I mean, you can rationalize that it's as a group. Like what they're saying is like you can rationalize as a group that we really don't want a guy running around with a gun shooting everybody. Now, I think that'd be morally wrong for us to let that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like rationalized. They thought about it, they figured it out, and it's like, yeah, that took some rational thought to understand. As easy as it is, it's still to understand that that's not the right thing to do.
How would Kant? It's not really that off topic because we're talking about action. How does Kant feel about non-action and the morality of non-action? And you take like the trolley dilemma, right? Where you have a trolley. That trolley's going to hit 5 people. But if I go over and if I turn that switch, then the trolley switch tracks and only hits 1 person. Would Kant... Where does duty lie with Kant there?
Well, it's rational. You can probably reason your way into a place where doing the greatest good is the thing that you would want to universalize, right?
Wow.
Okay, okay. So are we talking reason? Like here we go. Yeah, like you just said, you could reason your way into believing. That feels like another way of saying rationalizing, but I'm not going to get caught up on words. Like reason. Like it feels like it shouldn't be an individual's ability to, or do they believe reason is perfect? And if you're working with,
Kant's project is to validate the Christian moral worldview through using reason. That's his project, essentially. And he may diverge in certain places from the everyday person's understanding of that thing. But he's a philosopher theologian, right? And he doesn't write specifically about like Jesus, but he is trying to create a system of reason that encodes the morals and behaviors of like the Christian worldview, Western Christian worldview, right?
All right, and so there is this like contradiction I wanted to bring up.
Can I give an example of reasoning versus rationalizing?
Yeah, please.
So reasoning would be, I didn't get the job because my experience didn't match the required skills in the job description. Rationalizing is, I don't want that job anyways. It was too far a commute. They would probably make me not be able to work from home. They wouldn't pay me as much, blah, 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 right? That's rationalizing versus reasoning. One is based on evidence and constructing just, analyzing facts. The other is about, justifications to support a predetermined, often biased, whatever. Like, I have this worldview, therefore I'm going to rationalize.
So rationalization is the exact opposite of being rational.
That's right.
Well, is it the same process but just faulty? So it's like if you just don't do it right, a sound reasoning just becomes a rationalization.
Unsound.
It feels like or unfound or unsound or just sloppy. Like you just said earlier. I'm sure you could reason your way into this belief.
Right.
And I find that fascinating. Like, okay, so is that what Kant means by reason? Is that you can reason your way into justifying an action?
Yes, correct. That morals are derivative of reason.
I know, but is there good reason and bad reason?
Not in Kant. There's only the reason that is based on the system, Western, metaphysical system of truth and logic. So he's working within a milieu, right? But I don't think everyone just has access to that milieu, and an individial is reasoning.
Right.
Common sense. He does talk about common sense.
Right. So let's take that trolley thing. Would Kant, let's say I am a Secret Service agent. Those 5 people are going to hit by a train, or I can push a button. The train will jump the track and hit the president of the United States. Should I hit the button?
You can also do nothing at all.
Well, that's the thing. So is non-action morally bad? If you say I'm choosing not to get involved because if I hit a button, I am responsible for someone's death. If I don't do anything, I'm not responsible for anything. I only could have prevented something. Yeah, but I'm not responsible.
But you universalize that, Dan. So you're saying that everyone in that situation.
Well, I'm asking how Kant would do it, because I can't tell everyone a universal thing. So that's why I'm bringing it up. I'm wondering with moral absolutism, where the fuck does that stand?
Remember, there's never been a world war. Nihilism is hardly a thing. He's working from literally the ivory tower, the literal ivory tower, the white tower, let's call it. So, and the whole idea here is that every human is an independent agent capable of reasoning their way as a rational being to universal law. And as a postmodern human, I'm like, what the fuck? No. Really? Look at the world around you and you'll see that that's not the case. But when you have a project that's trying to prove a point, right, you build a system that allows you to do that. And rationality was the thing for these people that led to morality.
So what is there an argument that just blows Kant out of the water, or is he
blows Kant?
Don't blow Kant, Ryan. Jesus.
You know what I'm saying though? It's what's the best argument against this? Because I find the idea that if I need to make a decision that might have a moral implication, the idea of universalizing that choice to everyone is a fascinating and powerful thought process.
Right.
That I feel
there's no warning or consequence to not doing it.
Well, the argument would be for moral flexibility instead of
the argument would be you're going to go to hell if you don't do it. Okay, this only works within a system where there's.
That's what I'm saying. You got to have some kind of.
So,
you have to have some kind of consequence.
The golden rule. Basically, all the categorical imperative is the golden rule, right?
Yeah.
Do not do unto others what you do not wish for yourself. Same idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
The golden rule is not a perfect moral system. there's a ton of situations probably where you could come up with outliers for that specific formulation, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. When
Right.
others break that universal rule, right? I mean,
yeah.
it's only infractions of that rule that cause repercussions,
Yes.
right? We don't want to kidnap anyone, but if someone kidnaps someone, then we're going to their house and we're going to arrest them and we're going to throw them in jail and we're going to more or less kidnap them. It's a formal process, but you're kidnapped and we'll tell you when you can go. And but yeah.
The idea of autonomy is central to like this whole project, right? If I'm not able to act autonomously, in other words, I don't have free will, then this whole thing collapses to the ground.
Yes.
So the fact that he doesn't bring that up in the chapter was my biggest complaint.
Well, he wrote
like
an
that.
entire chapter.
Okay.
Just
I know, but he still could have brought that up in the context of this chapter.
Yeah.
He might
He had an entire chapter on it, though. It was a good.
I read it.
Chapter.
For me,
I liked it.
For me, it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, you made this big point over here. Like, at least mention it here that this is an important thing that would cause this to collapse.
Or he could have said, refer to chapter 9. Right?
Yeah.
So,
in fact, you know what? They might have done that. Now that I think about it.
Maybe in the footnotes.
Yeah, they might have done that.
He does thank the editor. I remember Jake Held had mentioned that he had kicked some back and said, why don't you add something from this guy or this guy? And in the notes here under number 7, there's a thing about Schopenhauer.
You read the 7th footnote. Want me to read it?
Yeah.
Arthur Schopenhauer critiques Kant's stringent view of lying by arguing it can be a form of self-defense. Just as it may be permissible to physically harm an aggressor to protect your life, it may be permissible to lie to someone who poses an obvious threat to your safety.
Yes.
And at the end it says,
on the basis of morality. So what year was that written?
But he says, I'm grateful to Jake Held for this reference.
Okay, 1839. So still, 100 years before the First World War, basically.
So these were just fat cats. These are just fat cats that probably never got punched in the nose.
Well, I mean, there's been wars for all time, obviously. And Prussia was obviously no stranger to conflict.
Listen, what year did it say it was? 1832?
1832, yeah.
And he wrote that where?
Schopenhauer? Probably.
Schopenhauer was 1839, so 7 years later. I think
because the War of 1812 was 20 years before that.
Yeah.
And then the Spanish-American War. Yeah, there were wars, definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but not the scale. I mean, I think it's appropriate to bring up World War because that changed.
Right.
That changed. And there's
Critique of Reason was
probably
1781. So keep that in mind.
I think anytime anyone has gone to war, they don't know the scale of it. They're just in a battle. And any soldier that's been in that situation, I think it has the same experience. Whether some people just had it for much longer, had to walk further, had to do all the things. But even if it's just 20 people versus 20 people, man, they're scary and they're fighting for their lives.
I think the Vietnam War was 22 years.
No. Don't get me wrong. Like the soldiers' experience is different. I'm talking about how it affects the world and the mindset. And I'm sure philosophy literally changed after World War. I'm sure if you study philosophy, and I think that's what Josh is alluding to, thought changes and the typical understanding of everything kind of just that's the basis, and it's a difference maker. It's one of those big lines in the sand. Real quick, I have a question, and I think it might help me understand something. So he alternately praises Moraine in a Kantian way for quote unquote fighting the Dark One, right? And and for doing it because she must. And then he later on praises the Way of the Leaf.
I hope he's a subscriber, as you all should be. I hope you liked this video.
So Josh, like, help me understand. Like, there are definitely like three prongs to this like way of like analyzing moral decisions, and if Kant would be like, yeah, Moraine, you're good for like fucking going off and like battling, and the way Leaf, you're good, like on his score system to get into heaven, like how does he value either one? I understand this is very simplified, so like help me understand. It's like does Kant look at all three of them as like a rubric to make, like, oh, he scores you on this 1, 2, and 3, and then you get an overall score, and then he decides whether you get into heaven or not? Is that how he sees it?
I mean, so Christianity is definitely divorced from his works, right? Like he doesn't speak explicitly about heaven or like this is purely a project about rationality, right? In the end.
This seems more humanist than theist in any way.
Kant was a Calvinist, and so which is like a Protestant, belief system where like humans have very little capability to. They almost lack free will in a sense in the Calvinist worldview, from what I understand.
I'm kind of more a hobbist.
So Ryan, I think in the end, like the idea is that every human can be a moral agent that based on reason, which is a system of thought that he's putting forward that exists.
Okay.
That every human intuitively through reason can make the perfect moral decision by using this mechanism. And therefore you would be doing good in the world. You'd be morally praiseworthy instead of reprehensible.
You know something else that this does? He's also screaming that if you don't follow these rules, you are the exact opposite of all of it.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's very harsh.
It's performative, yeah.
It's very harsh. Like to get you get an A on the test or you fail. Like it's very like the bar is fucking high for sure. But Josh, so if in some magical way this prescription of Kant were to become like the thing we all did, would the world be a better place?
Well, if everyone used the golden rule in every situation, would the world be a better place? I think so, because people don't. Because of human nature, it doesn't tend to lead us to that situation. And there's lots of systems of, what's the word I'm looking for? Payment, essentially, that, lots of things pay you back for not acting in that way in our current world, economy.
Well, you know what? There's even some challenges to that. What we think is so basic, right? And so like do unto others so someone who is obsessed with someone and is sending unsolicited texts.
Sure.
They really wish that they get a text. I mean, so I guess you have to take it away from the thing, but you're like, oh, let's say, I don't know, man. You hear what I'm saying, right? It's like, what I want, what I treat others as I would have them treat me. Well, it has to be wider than just me. It has to be.
And that's the idea of the moral imperative, categorical imperative.
Right.
Yes,
right.
It's empirical in the sense of using evidence and rationality, you can reason your way to the point where you understand for every situation, this is how the behavior should be, and therefore that is what I will do. And not just because it will make my mom happy, but because it's the right thing to do, and that's why I'm doing it. Right.
So is any action beyond that then immoral, or just has no moral value? Let's say kinky sex is that immoral or no moral value?
Well, if you're going from a Christian point of view,
according to Kant. I mean, if we're talking absolute, right? I mean, it's more absolute. So if you're doing something outside of like the norm, what is accepted vanilla shit.
Like I said, the reason
You know?
can lead you to multiple truths that are concurrent, right? Like,
Yeah.
just because it's not something that everyone will do all the time doesn't mean it's not an answer, right?
Yeah.
But is it ever morally praiseworthy if it's not within
Is
these
it harming
confines?
someone? Is there harm being done?
No. If
Well,
two
that's
people are
not
no,
Kant's line. That's not his red line. Is there harm or not?
no, it's the
it's-
intentions, and if the intentions are like,
Good.
yeah, and like two consenting people who just want to come a bunch and need to do
Mhm.
weird shit to do it, like that, like I imagine you could universalize that any two consenting adults who just want to come a bunch can do whatever they want.
Come a bunch. Benedict, come a bunch?
Yeah.
Come
They all should be able to do whatever they want to come a bunch, and I think that's a fine, like,
Well,
universal.
but I'm not wondering if is what I believe a universal law. Because I'm down with shit. I'm down with getting for you know me. But I'm wondering, when we are again dealing about morality and absolutism, is there soft? Is it either yes or no? I guess as far as moral is there soft morals, or is it either yes it's moral or no it's not? That's the question I have. I guess
you're coming at it as a postmodern Western relativist.
Yeah.
It's not how Kant proposed the system. It's like, so yes, that is a criticism of this way of approaching moral philosophy.
Yeah.
But it's also categorically different than the moral philosophy of the categorical imperative and reason. Right?
Has our universal laws changed? Is that why?
Have our universal laws changed? I think our belief in
From
the ability
Kant's
to create a
time,
universal law is what's
what
changed.
they would consider to be universal laws morally, to what we consider to be universal laws now. Are these fluid?
I'm sure you were all sick of hearing me say this because I said it for fucking years, but morals and ethics are different. Morals are a system of prescribed truth that have no ways so that's a yes or a no. Whereas ethics understand the context of what's going on before making the decision about whether something is moral or not within the ethical system, right?
Okay. So yeah, and this book that he wrote was on morality. So I assume we're talking about morals, right? Or was ethics? Was ethics that
another word?
Delineation existed at that time?
It existed from prior times. There were ethical thinkers back in Greece, 2000 BC. But Kant is 4,000 years in the future or whatever, right? And so it's just a different set of context, like cultural and otherwise, in which he's behaving and acting and pulling from the ideas of Christianity, which
and it's amazing to think like before he wrote this shit, the world was different, and then after he wrote it, the world changed. There are these thinkers that like I like to think about, like Freud, like the unconscious mind, like that was now that is a ubiquitous understanding that we all have this, but before he came up with that, no one thought that that's what was going on with our brains. There's all these weird,
that's
you know what I mean? So
I wonder, Ryan, if they had a clear-cut difference between morals and ethics, so when Schopenhauer, he's writing about on the basis of morality. The Kant is on morality and moral philosophy, other writings in moral philosophy, but it's critique of practical reason and other writings in moral philosophy. So they are talking strictly morals, or is ethics?
So ethics and morals are essentially the same thing. It's just one is a subset of the other often, right? So yes, people knew about ethics, and we're talking about ethics. Ethics is, about, I think the categorical imperative is technically ethical because it's trying to formulate a way to conceptualize how to make a decision as opposed to it just being dictated by law, by God's will.
If I say you shouldn't do something,
yes,
you ought not.
Am I speaking ethically or am I speaking morally? Or does it depend?
Depends on what the situation.
Yeah.
If you're talking to whether you're talking to your son or your secretary.
Is that the difference?
It could be as easy as that. I mean, that's the difference between ethics and morals,
Or it could be like what's behind the ought not. Are you saying you ought not do that because God doesn't like it, or are you saying you ought not do that because you might get in trouble with the boss?
Well, like, I'll put it this way: you can tell your son to wipe from back to forward. You can't tell your secretary to wipe from back to forward. You can't ethically say that, right?
You morally though, I think you should.
Hey, I get it.
I think
but that being said, you can't do that ethically.
I know, but the moral imperative is to. That's the ought of all oughts.
Is to.
And better yet, I could tell my daughter, that, and not my secretary. Yeah.
And so, God damn it. So, is that because of ethics or morals? I mean, I'm not sure I'm really grasping. The more we talk about, the more murky it gets.
This is again postmodernism, not pre-modernism. Kant's coming from an Enlightenment era worldview, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where there hasn't been a world war. There's still a teleology of progress. Every generation's world is better than the one that came before it, right? Like, these are the things that underlie, like, Enlightenment Christian-based views, of which Kant was a student of, if not a proselytizer, right?
Right. I mean, he seems like an asshole. He seems judgy.
Very judgy. Yeah.
Most clergy-ish people are.
But he doesn't seem clergy-ish, does he?
Oh, a little bit.
He's not clergy-ish. He's theological.
Yeah.
What you mean? But yes.
Yeah.
See, but this, the universal law that we all agree upon doesn't sound theological. A Ten Commandments sounds.
It's rational, but it's because of the theological values that underlie it that he reaches this system and is trying to validate these things, right?
Would he agree with the Ten Commandments? All 10 of them?
I think so.
I mean, there's a couple that are God-based. Don't have any God before me. Don't have any graven images.
So, I mean, again, I'm
just wondering. I mean, you know him.
My philosophy teacher was a Kantian scholar, my like main one at New College, and he described Kant's projects essentially trying to use rationality to prove that God exists, because he believed that God exists, and therefore there should be a way to reason your way to a point where God exists. Now, that was not what he set out to do outright. He would never have said that in the first books. But all of his works kind of are working their way towards building up this edifice that allows for that to be true.
So that human-derived universal law would be proof of a divine being?
God cannot be postulated by reason. You have to believe it.
Correct.
Yeah. So rational,
so annoying.
Essentially rational faith.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that feels like a contradiction in terms.
Well, no, you can apply universal law to that. You can say if we all agree to something, regardless of dogma, we all agree to this a few
rational
moral
faith based on reason.
Laws.
So
moral truths. I think that some people could use that as proof that there is actual divine intelligence. If we all decide upon something like do not kill, like killing is wrong, like these certain basic tenets, right, that you're talking about, I can see why those things being like, oh, okay, people that don't know Jesus still believe that, because this is something that is ingrained within the universe, our universal structure, which rationally could mean that we are created with this purpose in mind, not to kill one another, etc. I mean, I'm trying.
Let me get this straight. So, Kant's saying that if I follow this morality that he's written, and that if I realize that everyone else is too, somehow God exists?
That because man is capable of reasoning about a perfect universal truth, that requires God's existence, essentially. As far as I understand. And again, there are many Kantian scholars who would probably be throwing me out with the bathwater, maybe without the bathwater right now, but
I wouldn't let them. Hey, I would not let them.
It's my. I mean, not that, you know, I'm at heart a bartender. Anyone is allowed at my table. I don't poke, but I have always poked holes. So it's like I'm trying to rationally understand how morals.
No, it's the other way around. That God existing means that you have to act morally and rationally.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Okay, so yes. So I'm trying to understand how someone can rationally.
You can't rationalize the existence of God. That's what Kant believes.
Okay, I get that, but can you rationalize a snake that can talk?
Can you reason to a snake that can talk? No, he's not a biblical literalist.
Okay, so
he's an Enlightenment thinker, you know.
So he's talking about God, not the Bible or anything else.
Not Yahweh, but God as principle of truth and order and all the other things.
The supreme being.
Supreme being, yes.
So I'm understanding. No, see, I needed to ask that question because I'm understanding his philosophy better because of that.
Yeah.
You know, like
Kant believed that you can only know the phenomenal world, the world of phenomenons rather than noumena, right?
Okay.
The Latin word for that, which cannot be known through rationality, observation, phenomena, right?
So Kant would hate the Aes Sedai, right?
He would,
because they're duplicitous.
Well, I mean, there's many parts of this chapter about that very question. So
yeah. So what was the final result?
Well, no, I mean, he was unclear. He didn't make a judgment. He brought up that yes, he would be displeased with the idea that like you can't say it's morally good for the Aes Sedai to not lie because they can't lie.
If Kant met an Aes Sedai, Kant would probably think it was God.
Well, that's
considering. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what we would think like if an individual like that was walking the earth?
Oh yeah. I mean,
like, we would think that was
David Blaine's of the world.
I mean, this was a walking. This is the scariest thing on the face of the planet.
I just heard a little fan fiction where what if Harry Potter like jumped into the land of Westeros and he was so overpowered. It was silly. I mean, magic is something else.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you will find very few people of today who would agree that Kant is right.
Yeah.
But this is a stair step on the ladder of philosophy that forms a basis and ground for a lot of contention and discussion in ontology and epistemology moving forward, right? In moral reasoning.
Is it because of his hard lines?
that he's not right?
Well, that philosophers have had to find challenges to.
Well, I mean, that is one way that philosophy has moved, is towards generalizing. Oh gosh.
Ooh. And I mean, anytime you're dealing with absolutes, you leave yourself wide open for failure when it actually happens.
Right.
I never deal with absolutes. Never.
Well, I mean, it's just like, well, we can, it's an absolute from the Wheel of Time is for so long, they always believed that stilling could not be healed. And that was an absolute. In fact, Nynaeve was, vilified for even trying by even the Yellow Aja themselves until she did it.
Jansen, you bring up a good point. Like I was thinking this week, in fact, that the development of the Aes Sedai was similar to scientists and science in general, and everything is assumed to be true until something comes along and breaks it. But the Aes Sedai were stagnant.
Who said that? That's a quote from the book. Who said that? Satama Rath said that, right?
Oh, I don't know.
She said that to her little quandary of Red Aja when they were sitting there when they got a letter from Beldine.
So it's
okay, crazy.
So, but they just weren't challenging. They weren't doing the experiments. They weren't trying to disprove anything until they did. And once they started trying to disprove, once they started doing experiments, once they started to dig into it, like scientific method to a certain degree in some cases, is when they started really to develop knowledge and things that they thought could never happen happened.
Yeah, and we heard Elaine start even talking in scientific method in terms of the one power by using different, like, what did she call it? She called it like the referendum matrices or something like that when she was talking about making the Terangriel. And she said they literally, you're right, it was a science. They started looking at it that way.
I mean, moral relativism in general is something that we just take so much for granted. Like this thing about like child Bornhold and the Aes Sedai lying, or like by not telling the truth, you are able to like stop a madman from doing something insane. That Kant would disparage. But clearly, from our current ethical thinking perspective, moral thinking perspective, that's the right thing to do in that context, right? So contextualization is just
apparently that's what Schopenhauer agrees with, that deception is not morally wrong if it is, in some cases, I guess, if it's for self-defense, which self-defense. So I guess in defense of yourself, then all rules are kind of off. Right. It's like, don't kick someone in the nuts, unless they have a knife, and then kick them in the nuts. ladies, first lesson's free. Kick them in the nuts.
Not a nice thing to do.
That was self-defense class right there.
Like just looking in the camera and saying "ladies" is just like
ladies. First lesson.
Hey, ladies.
So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Kant, but I like what he's doing in regards to trying to I don't know if I even like what he's doing. He's a little rough. The whole absolutism to me, like I'm all about fluidity, so I don't know necessarily. I think every situation involves its own reactions. You have to gauge what's going on, to not have that. And I guess there's a universal law for every situation that I would be like, oh my God, I'm at a gas station and I dropped my card and someone came over and bonked me on the head, so I had to, or whatever. It's like,
See, I think as fluidity goes with his philosophy, I don't think, you know, I think his philosophy is subject to time, obviously, because it is antiquated a little bit and everything. But I don't think it changes or stretches that much. If you know what I mean, as far as morality goes, as far as right and wrong, as far as like interpreting, you know, how you're supposed to go about like yourselves and things like that. So I don't think his philosophy is as antiquated as we're giving it is saying it.
No, Jansen, and I'm actually like, and that's why I asked Josh earlier, is like, if like his philosophy was like a prescription that we all followed, would the world be a better place? And like, decidedly, yes.
Yeah,
it would be. And I think like, so like when you're talking about the infancy of thought or infancy of these like ideas, and he's like going in there and like kind of like, I love the focus on the intention, the focus on the person making the choice as the basis of judgment and not outcomes. And I think that's like, again, that might have been groundbreaking for the time, but I mean that's like a psychological like understanding of like human behavior.
Oh yeah,
right. Like we're like maybe, you know, people thought like they like bad choices were like because God's angry at you or your humors are misaligned or whatever. Like,
I mean, this is all stuff. Like, this is all stuff that leads to democracy. Like, giving individual power to decide the more, like, to create universal laws is the kind of thinking in the Enlightenment that leads to democracy, that leads to the French Revolution, that leads to the United States of America. I mean, like, granted, the United States had already happened at this point, 1776, but
USA.
Speaking of USA, guys, it's a little late. I'm gonna have to go.
I think we're done with this chapter, anyways.
Well, this was fun, guys. We will not be having a show next week. Ryan and I are.
Josh, it was really good to see you again, man.
Good to see you too. Yeah, sorry, it's been kind of crazy here lately. So
no problem. So we got next week off, but we'll be coming back the following week.
My friend Jansen, I'll be seeing you next week.
Yes, you will. I cannot wait.
Ryan.
All right. Humans on all the spectrums. Run for your lives. Oh, yeah. Oh, and before we leave, don't forget, Sedai and Tom G. Simone have started their Breaking the Seal show where they are doing live reactions to Watt Idol videos starting with season 1. It was a hoot doing it with them.
It was really
Friday. Fun. That's awesome.
Yeah, so people seem to be enjoying it, and so yeah, just jump on. If you
Josh, you're not a first-time reader anymore. You can spoiler free.
I don't believe it's going to be this Friday because Case I say is going to the wedding too, but it will be every Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern. All right, everyone. Until next time, run for your lives. This is The Way of the Leaf.